Playground!
Hooray!
Hey! It's my song! Let's sing it! It's gonna be fucking awesome! Come on! It's gonna be fucking awesome! You know the words! It's gonna be fucking awesome! That's it! Sing! It's gonna be fucking awesome! Yeah!
Heidi-ho, coolest geeks, it's me, Jesse Blaze Snyder, the coolest geek alive. How you doing out there? Care Bear Stare. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for tuning in to our Saturday show. I just finished season 2 of Invincible, and it's fucking great. It's based on the comic by Robert Kirkman, which is great. I admittedly, I don't know how long the series ran. I forget how many issues now, but I think I only read up until issue 50-something, in the mid-50s, I'm thinking, like 54 or something like that. So I have to finish because I loved it. It just so happened it was one of those series that I was reading at the time when I was reading comics, really regularly, and then I stopped because money got really tight, and I think I've talked about it before. Don't do what I did. When money gets tight, don't end your comic book hobby completely. If it's something that you enjoy, like, it's so hard to get back into routines. Once you have a nice routines like make your world go round. And when I quit comics, I realized, like, fucked up my life. I fucked up my life on so many levels because I'm very routine oriented, and it took away all my routines. My hobbies were the only routines I had left after college and high school and stuff. And I because my ADHD, like, I can get a lot done in a regimented schedule. Like now I'm working out, a few days a week. And I'm meditating in the morning and doing qigong and doing yoga, and I'm waking up at a certain time and trying to go to sleep around a certain time. This regimenting myself, I'm getting so much more out of myself because I've got a grid. And it's good. It's nice to have a grid, and I highly recommend. Comics is just such a wonderful thing. Just waiting a month for the next installment of that thing, and going to the store, and it's just a lovely little hobby, to have for yourself, of just looking at beautiful things. Comic books are art. It's just beautiful art, and I'm sure you've seen some comics that are like, but dude, you're just not reading the right comics. There are just so many great artists out there. It's amazing, and there's great writers who write great stories and love the medium and do a great job with it. And it's the best medium. Comic books are the greatest medium that I know of, and I've explored all of them a little, from news serials and other stuff. But it's just such a great hobby within entertainment. It's so vast in its appeal and what can be done within the medium, because movies and television shows, they have budgets that they have to stand with, and books, you have your imagination, and sometimes your imagination can only go so far. I could visualize stuff, but like it's for me, it's hard. Comics, it's just like, it just gives you so much to imagine. These people who really have honed their craft. I mean, it's just their unique style becomes this whole universe, of just the way of seeing the world, and it's so wonderful. And Ryan Ottley, the artist here on Invincible, is great, and he was eventually brought into Spider-Man over at Marvel when Invincible wrapped up. But this series was awesome. Admittedly, it was a little slow to start. Image did this initiative where they launched all these number ones around the same time, and I tested it out along with a bunch of other books. I don't remember which ones I kept reading. There was some that I kept reading, but a bunch of them I wasn't really into, and this was one of the ones I wasn't into. But the twist of the series, and I'm going to give this away, this will be the one spoiler for Invincible, is that basically he is Superman's son. But Superman isn't the good guy that Superman is as the DC Universe Superman. He's secretly really a bad guy. These really long-lived race of people called the Voltrumites, who just take over planets. And basically he like took over the planet in a kind of nice way. But it is a brutal series. And I think they do a bit of a better job with some of the storytelling for the initial issues of the comic within the animated series, which is really what I'm recommending here, even though I would recommend go back and read Invincible, read the comics, because they're doing a great, loving job of adapting it, but it's also slightly different. It's a great book, by itself, and it's just a different experience reading it as the comic, and the comic is really worth your time. It's funny. People love to shit talk Eric Larson now because he's just like super vocal on social media, and I think he has a little bit of Asperger's, like I do. Sorry, don't mean to out you, Eric. He probably doesn't have any idea that he does. It's funny. I've known him since I was a teenager. I'm a huge Savage Dragon fan, and he can be a little hot and cold, and I think he doesn't. I don't think he actually realizes. I think at his heart he's a pretty nice guy, or tries to be. He's genuinely been very, very good to me over the years. I'm his super fan. I used to show up to his table and every issue of my Savage Dragon collection of like my early books are signed by him. And the Savage Dragon, the early issues, the first 75 issues plus the mini series and a half issue and a couple little things, are, I think, some of the greatest comics ever made. The Savage Dragon has gone on beyond that. He kind of shot himself in the foot with issue 75. He made a lot of very major changes to the book, and the book just changed dramatically on a dime. And it took a while before it kind of got back to itself a bit. And the Savage Dragon that you'll read today has some similarity to the OG Savage Dragon, but there's a lot of heavy-handed politics in it sometimes, very left-wing, heavy-handed, and a lot of kind of weird, kinky sex stuff. It's sort of strange. So a lot of people have gotten very, and he's very vocal about a lot of that stuff on social media and stuff. So if you're hard right, you'll probably be a little aggravated with Eric these days. But it doesn't change the quality of his work, especially, like he did some good Spider-Man work too. There's some great stuff that he did. He loves comic books. He loves the medium, and it shows in his work. And I grew up reading his letter column, and so did Robert Kirkman. I met Robert at one of Eric's lunch things when I was like, I don't know, 17 or something like that. I always kind of hated him, even though I liked his work and I wanted to be friends with him. But I hated him because he would embarrass me every single time I told him in confidence that my father was Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, just because some things that he told me made it seem like it would be something that would interest him, which of course it did. But every time I would be in a room with other people and he would be there, he would tell people, "Do you know whose dad is?" And that was always something that I was really trying to keep out of comics, because it really just, I wasn't a looky-loo in comics. Comics was my life. I dedicated my life to studying the art form and knowing things better than anybody else did. And being Dee Snider's son kind of colored me a different way, where I was kind of looked at as like somebody who's like, oh, comics, or something. And I was an intellectual, and I didn't like to be scaled down in any way, shape, or form. And I hated that. I actually called him out on Twitter. I did. I called him out on Twitter like a decade ago when I had my old Twitter account, and for doing that to me a lot. And he actually responded and said, "Oh, dude, I did do that, didn't I?" He apologized, which was nice. That was very cool. Robert's a great writer. Walking Dead is really solid. Walking Dead also, I have not read all of it. I think I've read like the first 3. No, because I read big trade paperbacks that I think had multiple trade paperbacks in them. So I want to say maybe like the first 6 trade paperbacks, maybe less than that, maybe 5. And And Invincible, I read more of. I liked Invincible a lot, but I didn't finish it. But not because of the quality wasn't great. Those were just, I was reading those actively, like going in, month out, and picking up the book. And Walking Dead, I was reading in trade paperbacks. I just haven't gotten the other trades yet. But they're great. They're really great, solid books. Walking Dead, I mean, it did like this insane numbers in comics where it kept building over time. But Invincible did a lot of similar numbers, and Invincible was really good. And the strength of Invincible was just on its ability to keep shocking you. And, I brought up Savage Dragon because that's one of the strengths of the Savage Dragon. The Savage Dragon was irreverent. It just had a bit of a sense of humor about itself and a sense of humor about what it was doing and the world that it was in and, what kind of stories it was emulating. And it didn't take itself seriously on that level. And neither does Invincible. And it had an ability to shock you with its violence and just sort of like keep managing to raise the stakes over and over again over time, to the point where you would keep going, wow, how are they going to fucking top this? And then another storyline would come along and you'd be like, wow, how are they going to fucking top this? Which honestly, I can't wait to read the issues of Invincible that I haven't read. Like, I know it's like wrapped and there. I've only hesitated because I'm not sure what graphic novel I would be in the middle of or whatever. I'm not certain. I got to go back and research and figure out which specific issue I stopped on so I can buy the trade paperbacks to finish it. But I know that he figured out some way to fucking top what he'd been doing before. And I mean, it's great. And the thing that is there the most with Robert Kirkman and Invincible is his ability to bring heart to characters over and over again. Even characters that seem just like little side guys and like one note kind of whatever. And he will just go into, he'll really take what they are very seriously and go into the heart of what that would mean for a person, to have to deal with whatever it is and, bring out the emotion of it. And just all the characters, shit, man. Just the stakes are so high because it's just a superhero world where the shit is real, like, and people are getting fucked up. Like it's really grotesque, but you feel it so much more. It's just an amplification of the thing in a great way, with a really morally righteous protagonist who's trying to do the right thing and trying to not be like his father. And it's awesome. I really like I highly recommend it. But totally, I gotta recommend the first 75 issues of the Savage Dragon. It is what inspired Invincible. 100%. If you've seen Invincible and you're listening to this because you're like, read all the first trade paperbacks all the way up to issue 75, and then if you love it, you can continue after that. But I'm just warning you ahead of time. It transforms for a while before it gets back into something closer to where it was. It becomes this send up to Jack Kirby, which I'm like a Kirby fan, but like. It didn't. His Jack Kirby ode didn't necessarily like make me excited. The book gets a lot of exposition all of a sudden because he was criticizing Marvel and DC for not explaining what was going on in their books. But now they switched at issue 75 into this new universe, and he also criticized, Age of Apocalypse could have still been continuing, but they abandoned it, kind of thing. And like, imagine that kept continuing. Well, that's basically what he did. He like made himself an Age of Apocalypse, and then just made the world continue from there. And then he had to explain it with every issue, and explain to all the people that he was a Savage Dragon from another universe, not this universe. And there's a Savage Dragon in this universe. There's an evil universe, and oh my god! And like, we're stuck here, and we're never gonna go back on this. it sucked. Everything that we loved about the other book and all of the possibilities that were there and characters that were in the backgrounds and things that we hope to see again, it all just went away. No fun. But the first 75 issues plus the miniseries at the beginning with the half issue and stuff, if you get like the initial trade paperback of the original miniseries and then the first 75 issues worth of trade paperbacks, you will be a very happy person, I promise you. They are fun and funny and grotesque and cool and badass and awesome and irreverent and just some of the best comics you'll ever read. And that's how me and Robert Kirkman bonded. We were big Savage Dragon fans. He was doing Battle Pope at the time, which was a really cool book as well. Good one by Robert, worth checking out. And he's a sweet guy. Lots of people do the thing where they like, oh my God, like he just, I should have known that, you know, he was a fanboy. And like, I am a fanboy very selectively. I'm like very, very picky. But I was a fanboy for Eric. And I'm a very kind of cool fanboy because my dad's a celebrity. So, you know, I've learned, you know, the people who you don't want to push away, get this guy away from me, are the people who are earnest and cool and kind and respectful. So I always try to be that. And, you know, I don't fault Robert for just being affected and being somebody who was like, this is a cool thing, I want to tell everybody, and not realizing how it would affect me. So I don't hold a grudge against him. But yeah, man, I recommend the Savage Dragon all the time, and I bring this story up just to give weight to my love of it. The biggest comic book adaptations of all time, and Invincible is going to go on to do more. I know it will on film and stuff. The animated series is incredible, and the people are going to be talking about how incredible the animated series is, and eventually they're going to do a live action, and it's going to be fucking awesome. I'm excited about it. And The Walking Dead, which, I mean, it's still going, but I only watched the first few seasons of it because it got off the comics and in a big way, and I was just kind of like, fuck this thing, and started doing like random shit, and I wasn't into it anymore. You know, cool if you are. But anyway, it's still a juggernaut thing. I like, you know, so like I'm telling you, Savage Dragon is majorly fucking awesome, important comic book. Like, you should read it. This is Robert Kirkman would tell you the same thing. He'd tell you the same thing. So just making that recommendation and recommending all the Invincible comics and recommending all the Walking Dead comics. So much better than the series. If you're a Walking Dead fan, Walking Dead, go read the Walking Dead comics. They're awesome. They're awesome. The Shane stuff in the beginning of the show is a little bit better in the first season with because he killed Shane off a little early because he you know, he didn't know how long the book was going to go for, but the book did manage to hang in there and just keep kicking ass. Anyway, what can I tell you about the show specifically? Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you about some of the actors and stuff. Steve Yeun, I think is the dude's name, who plays Invincible, is great. You know, just awesome performance of Rick Grayson. You know, Rick is, you know, just your protagonist, and he's a great character, man. He's just a solid guy who wants to do the right thing, and he's got all this power, and he's trying to figure it out in a really rough world where rough things keep happening. And it's awesome. It's really cool to see it done so well. I mean, this animated series is just so lovingly adapted, and obviously because Robert's in there and he's writing a ton of the episodes, apparently. Like, I was trying to figure out, there's not enough credit, so like I couldn't figure it out on IMDb exactly specifically how many he had written. But his name was coming up just by itself, written by, not created by, written by, not executive produced by, written by. And he's a great writer. I've only ever read one comic by him that I thought was fucking awful. He wrote, for a little while he wrote this Marvel team-up book, which was great, except for one issue. One issue, Blade and the Punisher like met up and they were fighting each other. And it was just like the lamest exchange of all time. And knowing Robert a little bit, I'm just sort of like, you know, like, because it's like lighthearted and fun and like tongue in cheek and most of the things he does. But like with Blade and the Punisher, like that doesn't work. It's got to be like cutthroat cool. It was so stupid. It was such a stupid issue. Like laughably stupid. It was like, what is this? No. Don't write the Punisher or Daredevil, please. I mean the Punisher or who was Blade, please. I think he did a Punisher 2099 as well. That was like really awful too. It was just, or just one of those 2099s that he did wasn't good. I mean, that's a great track record, honestly. He's like, and his good stuff is fucking incredible. And his less than good stuff is all great. You know, it's really, he's got a nice writing style. It's all lighthearted fun. Battle Pope's fun. All the stuff that he did for Marvel was really fun. You know, and some of it's forgettable, but fun. You know, the Marvel team up stuff is fun and memorable. And other than I hate that my most memorable thing with it, though, was how terrible the damn Blade Punisher thing. I was just surprised how terrible it was. I was just like, this is not good. Robert's not a good fit for this. Even though he's done really badass characters in The Walking Dead. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just an off day. His tone was just fucking all over the place for fucking the Blade versus the Punisher. Skip that issue. But no, he's fucking awesome, and I think clearly getting better. These Invincible episodes, like they're fucking awesome. Seriously, I recommend the comic book, but the animated series is amazing. Sandra Oh plays his mom; she's great. His dad, the Superman character, is played by J.K. Simmons, and he's awesome as the mustachioed Superman, Omni-Man. It's not really Superman; it's Omni-Man. You know, there's a couple other great runs in there. Of course, you got Walton Goggins plays Cecil Stedman. And Walton's just, he's great. He's just such a great actor. And there's a lot of humanity in his voice and understanding and concern. And, you know, he's unpanicked. And it's really, it plays the character just like I imagined him. The whole, that's actually the best thing about the animated series is every single character is basically just as I imagined them from the comics. They got Jason Mantzoukas. He's the guy. He's so fucking great. What's his name? In the League, he plays Chili. He's the friend, the brother. Oh God, he's amazing. If I ever do King of Kings, my comic book as an animated series, I want him as the voice of Jesus so bad. He's just like, you know, just a shit heel. Plays a great asshole. He's really funny as hell, and he's great as Rexplode, who's this fucking asshole character who eventually gets redeemed. You'll enjoy the fuck out of that. You had Zazie Beetz, as I didn't realize it was Zazie Beetz as Amber Bennett, who's like Mark Grayson's girlfriend. She's great. All the voice performances are awesome. I mean, like, you know, right now I'm kind of like seeing a number of vocal performances because they so embody their characters. A lot of them I haven't necessarily bothered to like suss out, well, who is that? Because usually that's my thing. I love it. I love sitting there going, oh, that's the dude from this and that's this, you know, like I'll figure it out. But I mean, really, that's all I can say. It's like everybody is so well cast, and it's just like on the money for their characters. There's so many great moments and sort of, you know, cut to this, you know, like in the Invincible comic, it was always like there would just be sort of glimmers of things going on, and then eventually you would get some more information about them eventually, and it was always very satisfying because like a lot of things would be waiting in the wings. This was something that Eric Larson did all the time. There would just be all these different seeds planted, and then eventually Eric would do something with some of the seeds he planted, and you'd be like, oh man, this is fucking awesome. Seth Rogen as Alan the Alien is great. I know like Seth Rogen's become like a whooping boy of late, but he is perfectly cast as Alan the Alien. So perfect as Alan the Alien. Really, like that's one of my favorite ones. Sterling K. Brown as Angstrom Levy, who shows up. I don't know if he shows up in the first season too. I think maybe he does. But that's great. Powerful performance and powerful episodes of the show. The Angstrom Levy stuff. Like it's honestly, it's all very powerful stuff. It's really great. And then like even people like Ben Schwartz as Shapesmith, who's like a shape-shifting Martian. Ben Schwartz, his character's performance, it's like just like I imagined it in the comics. Just the type of voices that I had in mind for all of these characters, they nailed it. It's really just like fucking killer. There's so many. I'm like hesitating to give you all of it, but I mean, Reginald Vell Johnson's in here, and fucking Mahershala Ali's in here, and I mean, there's tons of people who are in the cast that making cameos and whatever here or there, and they're great. It's just all really well cast. John Hamm. I mean, it's really like it's crazy how many cool Rhea Seehorn. Just so many fucking cool people in the voice cast. It's like it's honestly like it's shaping up to be maybe one of the best animated series of all time as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's really good if they keep honoring the book and go through and take their time and don't rush this shit. Like, man, it's really gonna be something. And it's like a marquee something. Up there with Batman the Animated Series and shit, like, something really great. And it's brutal. It's so fucking brutal. It's like I gotta wait for my kids to get older to show it to them, because it is really brutal. Oh, cool. Chad L. Coleman. I like him. He's a dude from The Wire and a lot of other things. He plays Martian Man. There's just so many. Jeffrey Donovan played Machine Head. Just so many fucking cool actors in this damn movie. I'm just like there's so many characters in Invincible. So I mean, it's like opportunities. Digimon Houston. Oh man, just like so many. Michael Dorn. Oh yeah, I remember that. Michael Dorn plays Battle Beast. Battle Beast is great. Battle Beast, totally. Imagine with a Michael Dorn voice. Fucking awesome. Lenny James as Darkwing. Phil Lamar. Oof, there's so many freaking great people. Oh, Josh Keaton, too. He played Spider-Man in one of the earlier Spider-Man things. He's been in there. Oh, man, they really just, like, there's so many great people in here. So many great people. Justin Rowland showed up and did a voice. Ella Purnell, who I just started watching in Fallout. First episode of Fallout was pretty great. Really good. Mai Whitman. There's a ton of people, man. It's just like crazy. I'm just like, it's like silly to just keep shouting out random names. They did a special with Adam Eve. Make sure you watch that. The Invincible special with Adam Eve. It kills. It really just like is brutal. It's great. The first 2 seasons of the show are excellent. They're wonderful adaptations of the source material. It feels right. I don't feel like I know everything that's going on or know how everything's going to play out, but it all feels similar in all the right ways to the book that I've read. And every single episode that they've made so far has all been based on comics that I've read. And it's great. Like, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get to Conquest. Can't wait to get to this. Can't wait to get to that. Looking ahead to different bits of the storyline, as you watch, and you're like, oh, cool, because Battle Beast is gonna come back, and like, there's so many things that come back around and are just quite cool. And honestly, this inspires me. I'm gonna that's gonna be my mission. I'm gonna have to pick up the remaining issues of Invincible for myself so I can read the conclusion of the series. Anyway, this concludes another fucking awesome episode of the Coolest Geek Alive Saturday edition. I think you guys know now I got a Monday night music show called All Your Favorite Bands Suck. You can check that out. Would be awesome if you did. Last time I did the Detroit Cobras. They're awesome. They're a new band for me, but their singer passed away a couple years ago, and I felt like, well, let's honor that singer and do it, because I was freshly into it, and I was like, put my enthusiasm into some shit. I think I may be doing Kid Rock this coming Monday. And yeah, tons more great music coming. There's tons of different episodes on different bands, so go in and look and see all the bands that I did. Also, I told you Fucking For Our Future is live. No, well, it's not like live on Kickstarter in that you can pay for things, but it's live on Kickstarter in that it's searchable. And if you type in Fucking For Our Future to Kickstarter, you can sign up for notifications right now and be notified in about 30 days when it goes live. Less than that now. Anyway, and you want to be notified because we've got like a special early boob special. It's really funny. It's all very funny. Our book is like intellectual and interesting and funny and unlike anything that anybody's ever done before. So put all your expectations aside and be prepared to laugh at something really interesting and cool. Anyway, of course, we got another episode coming up on Wednesday, and I hope you'll join me again next Saturday for probably another coolest pick from the coolest geek alive, motherfuckers. I love you all. See you next time. Peace. You've been listening to Coolest Geek Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snyder. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent geek culture content. Thanks for listening.
It's my favorite part. Isn't that heavy? I played that. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Coolest alive. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Stay with your tribe. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Revenge of the Geeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Week after weeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Laughing with you. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And crying sometimes too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Spelling it out. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Making you shout. I'm a genius. I got lyrics coming out me bum for days. You like that? It's a kazoo solo. I played that too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Talking some shit. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Living the shit. My voice is fucking awesome. Foot in our mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Get in the mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Tell all your friends. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Call right on text. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Raising the bar. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Straight to the stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's starting soon. Straight to the top. Awesome. Passing the moon. It's gonna be fucking awesome. On with the show. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ready, set, go. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Just wait. You'll see. You'll all see.
The podcast